Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chapter 6 Electrolysis. Exercise page 110. There are some summary questions. For each of the following statements, state whether it is the anode or cathode. First of all, I have to explain this diagram. Then we can answer these questions. This is one electrolytic cell. It has two electrodes. One positive and one negative electrode. Positive electrode, that is called anode. It is connected to the positive terminal of battery. Negative electrode, it's called cathode. It is connected to the negative terminal of the power supply. At the anode, always there is oxidation process because there is loss of electron. And at cathode, there is always reduction because there is gain of electron, and electron always move from anode to cathode, and movement of the electron is called current. And in the electrolytic cell we always take molten solution or aqueous solution, and in aqueous or molten solution we have two type of the ions, positive and negative ions. Positive ions always move toward the cathode, negative ions always move towards the anode. And at the anode they lose the electron and get oxidized. At the cathode, when cation move towards the cathode, at the cathode they gain the electron and get reduced. So there is always reduction at the cathode and oxidation at the anode, and during the oxidation the negative ion release the electron, and these electron they leave the internal circuit from anode and they move from anode to cathode. They enter into the solution from the cathode. Question 1, part A. Positive ions move toward the cathode because the positive ions they are also called cations, and cations they move toward the cathode because the cathode is negative electrode, and negative charge always attract the positive charge. So the positively charged ions always are attracted by the cathode. Oxidation happens at anode. Anions move toward the anode, and at the anode they lose the electron, and loss of electron is oxidation. So oxidation always occur at the anode. Part C. This is connected to the negative terminal of the power supply. Cathode is connected to the negative terminal of the power supply because the cathode is negative electrode. So negative electrode is connected to the negative terminal of the power supply. D. This is connected to the positive terminal of supply. Anode is connected to the positive terminal of supply because anode is positive electrode, and positive electrode is connected to the positive terminal of the supply. E. A reduction happens here. The reduction happens at cathode. Why at the cathode? Because cathode is negative electrode, and cations move towards the cathode, and cations they have positive charge, they gain the electron, and gain of electron is reduction. F. Negative ions move towards the anode because anode is positive electrode, and negative ions they will move towards the anode that has the opposite charge. Anode has positive charge, that's why negative ion move towards the anode. Question number 2. Which of the following ions move towards the anode and which towards the cathode during the electrolysis? The general rule is that the metals they have ability to lose the electron easily and convert into the positively charged ions or cations, and cations always move towards the cathode because cathode has negative charge. And the other is the Non-metals, they gain the electron because they have deficiency of electron. They can easily gain the electron and convert into the anions. And anions move toward the anode because anode has positive charge. Potassium ions have +1 charge, and positively charged ions are called cations, and cations move towards the cathode because cathode has negative charge. It is connected to the negative terminal of the power supply. Oxide anion, it has 2- charge, and anion move toward the anode because anode is positive electrode. Iodide, it has a -1 charge, it is anion, it will move toward the anode. Magnesium +2 charge and cation move toward the cathode because it is negative electrode. Calcium +2 charge and it is also cation, it will move toward the cathode, and cathode has negative charge. Aluminium +3, it is also cation, it will move toward the cathode because cathode is negative electrode. Fluoride is anion, it has -1 charge. Anion move toward the anode because the anode is positive electrode. Bromide is also anion, it will move towards the anode. Anode has positive charge, or anode is positive electrode. Question number 2b, write the half equation for the discharge of the magnesium and bromide ions. As we see that the magnesium has positive 2 charge, they are cations, and cations always move towards the cathode. At the cathode they will gain the electron, and by the addition of the electron they convert into the magnesium matter and get reduced. So we can write its equation like this: magnesium 2 positive ion and plus 2 electron because it has 2 plus charge, and it will gain the 2 electrons. By the addition of these 2 electrons, magnesium will convert into magnesium matter, that is neutral, and gain of the electron is called reduction. So reduction will take place at the cathode, and the magnesium ion, they will convert into magnesium metal and deposit at the cathode. Bromide ions, they are negative ions, or we can call anions, and anions always move towards the anode. At the anode they will lose the electron, and loss of electron is oxidation. So at the anode, bromide ions, they lose the electron and get oxidized and convert into bromine. We can write the equation in 2 ways. Here, like this bromide ions, 2 bromide ions, 1 bromide ion lose 1 electron and 2 will lose 2 electron. And we will write the electron in the product as plus 2 electron, and if we want to write the electrons in the reactant, then we will write minus 2 electron. It means 2 bromide ions, there will be a minus 2 electron. From 1 electron from each bromide will be given away, and bromide ion will convert into bromine. So at the anode, bromide ion oxidized to bromine. Question number 3. Diagram shows the electrolysis of sodium chloride in laboratory. Identify the product A, B, C on the diagram. According to this diagram, we see there we have electrolysis of sodium chloride solution. It means here we have aqueous solution of sodium chloride. When we have aqueous solution of sodium chloride, we have sodium and chloride ion as well as hydrogen and hydroxide ion from water. These 2 ions, they are cations, they will move toward the cathode, and this is cathode. At the cathode, when hydrogen ion and sodium ion, when they reach at the cathode, there is competition between these 2 positive ions. Hydrogen is less reactive as compared to sodium according to reactivity series. So hydrogen will gain the electron and reduce at the cathode, and sodium ion they will remain in the solution. On the other hand, chloride ions and OH ions, hydroxide ions, they will move towards the anode. At the anode there is competition between these two ions. Chloride ions are more as compared to hydrogen, and chloride ion they will lose electron and get oxidized, and chlorine gas will release at the positive electrode, that is anode. And when chlorine release at the anode, hydroxide ions they will remain in the solution. Now hydrogen gas produces at the cathode, and chlorine gas produces at the anode, and the remaining solution has sodium and hydroxide ion. So sodium and hydroxide ion combine together to form the sodium hydroxide, that is strong base. Remaining solution, that is C, it will be sodium hydroxide. So at A, chlorine gas, at B, hydrogen gas, and C, this is the remaining solution, it has sodium hydroxide solution, that is base or alkali. Next question, part B of the same question. Give two uses for the substance A. Substance A is chlorine gas. So the chlorine gas has many uses, but most important are chlorination of water, that is swimming pool water or drinking water, and other is the formation of bleach. It is used to make the bleach. When it reacts with sodium hydroxide, it will convert into the bleaching powder. So it is used for the chlorination as well as for the formation of bleach. C part of this question. What would be the pH of the solution around the cathode? Around the cathode we have sodium hydroxide solution as well as hydroxide ions, and we have, due to the presence of sodium hydroxide, this is strong base, and here the pH will be more than 11. It will be from 11 to 14. D part of this question, how would you carry out the positive test for B? Product B is hydrogen gas, and it will burn with popping sound. When a splint is brought near the mouth of the test tube that has a hydrogen gas, it will burn with the popping sound. Question, write the half equation for the cathode and anode. We know that we have sodium chloride aqueous solution, and at the anode we have in this solution we have sodium chloride. It will convert into sodium positive and chloride negative, and water convert into hydrogen and hydroxide ions. At the anode we have chloride and hydroxide ions, and chloride ion concentration is more, that's why it will get oxidized, and hydroxide ion will remain in the solution, and these chloride ions they will oxidize and convert into chlorine gas. So the two chloride ions, because the chlorine gas exists in molecular form, so two chloride ions they will lose 2 electrons. Each chloride ion lose 1 electron. So two chloride ions lose 2 electrons and get oxidized and convert into chlorine gas. And we can write this equation like this: 2 chloride ion minus 2 electron and convert into the chlorine gas. So at the anode there is oxidation process. At cathode we have 2 positive ions, sodium and hydrogen ion, and there is competition between the sodium and hydrogen ion. Hydrogen is less reactive as compared to sodium according to the reactivity series. So hydrogen gas will reduce and release at the cathode, and sodium ions they will remain in the solution. And we can write the equation like this: 2 hydrogen ions, each hydrogen gain 1 electron, 2 hydrogen ion gain 2 electrons and convert into the hydrogen gas. And at the cathode there is a reduction process, because the hydrogen ions they gain the electrons, or gain of electron is called reduction. Question number 4. Water can be slightly acidified and broken down into the hydrogen and oxygen using the electrolysis. The word equation for this reaction is water, it converts into the hydrogen and oxygen. Write the balance symbol equation for this reaction including state symbol. When water is electrolyzed, it forms the hydrogen and oxygen gas. So it will convert into the hydrogen and oxygen gas. We can write the equation like this. This is the water molecule that is in the liquid form. It will convert into the hydrogen in gaseous form and oxygen in gaseous form. And to balance this equation, we will write here like H2O. If we write here H2O, we can write this like this: H2 gas plus half oxygen. But we are in chemical equation, we want to avoid the fractions. That's why we will multiply this whole equation by 2, and then we will get this equation: 2H2O, 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. B part of this question: in water, a small percentage of molecule ionizes. Write the balance symbol equation including state symbol for the ionization of water molecules. When water ionizes, it's very simple equation. It will convert into the hydrogen and hydroxide ions. So water is in the liquid form and it converts into the hydrogen ion and hydroxide ions. B part of this question: write the half equation to show what happens at the positive and negative electrode in the electrolysis of water. During the electrolysis process, first of all, water will convert into the hydrogen and hydroxide ions. Hydrogen ions, according to this equation, first water when convert into the hydrogen and hydroxide ions, the hydrogen ions, they will move towards the cathode and hydroxide ions towards the anode. At the cathode, hydrogen ions, they will gain the electron like this. Hydrogen ion gain the electron. If we have one hydrogen ion, it will gain one electron and convert into the hydrogen, neutral hydrogen. As we know, the hydrogen exists in molecular form. That's why we will take 2 hydrogen ions, and 2 hydrogen ion will gain 2 electrons and convert into the hydrogen gas. So there is reduction process at the cathode, and hydrogen ion, they reduce to the hydrogen gas, and hydrogen gas will release at the cathode. On hydroxide ions, they are anions, and anions moves towards the anode. At the anode, they will lose the electron and convert into the oxygen gas. And we have this balance equation like this. We have here 4 hydroxide ions, and each hydroxide ion lose 1 electron. When we have 4, according to the balance equation, we have 4 hydroxide ions, so 4 hydroxide ions lose the 4 electrons, and oxygen gas will release at the anode. D part of this question: when some water is electrolyzed, it produces 0.2 mole of the hydrogen gas. Calculate the volume of the oxygen produced at the room temperature and pressure at the same time. 1 mole of any gas occupies 24 decimeter cube at the room temperature and pressure. For the electrolysis of the water, if we see the formula of water, the ratio between the hydrogen and oxygen is 2 to 1. H2O, we have 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. During the electrolysis of water, hydrogen gas is produced at the cathode and oxygen gas produced at the anode. And volume of the hydrogen gas is double as compared to the oxygen. If 0.2 mole of the hydrogen gas is produced, then the mole of oxygen produced is 0.1, because the oxygen is half than hydrogen. So according to the equation, first we will write the equation: water, it will convert into the hydrogen and oxygen. Here if we have 1 mole of the hydrogen, we have half mole of the oxygen. According to this equation, hydrogen is 1 mole and oxygen half mole. And in the question there are 2 mole of the hydrogen gas. Then the oxygen will be half than 0.2, it will be 0.1. And volume occupied by 1 mole of any gas at standard temperature and pressure is 24 decimeter cube. So according to this statement, volume occupied by 1 mole of the oxygen gas is 24 decimeter cube. and volume occupied by 0.1 mole. We have 0.1 mole of the oxygen gas. It will be 24 divided by 1 into 0.1 mole. So it will occupy 2.4 decimeter cube. 0.1 mole of oxygen gas occupies 2.4 decimeter cube volume at the room temperature and pressure. E part of this question: where does the energy needed to separate the water into the hydrogen and oxygen come from during the electrolysis? During the electrolysis process, we need the energy, and this energy come from the power supply that can be a cell or battery. Battery is a combination of the cell, it is the same thing, so it will come from the cells or battery. Question number 5. Complete the following equations. A part: lithium plus 1 charge. It will convert into the lithium metal. It means it has plus 1 charge, so it will gain 1 electron and reduce to lithium metal. So strontium plus 2 charge, it will gain 2 electron and convert into neutral metal. And here is reduction process because there is a addition of the electron. Fluorides, have one fluoride here, and here is F2. We will multiply with 2, and now we will balance the charge. 2 fluoride will lose 2 electron and convert into neutral fluorine, and this equation we can write also like this: 2 fluorides, they convert into F2 plus 2 electron. There is removal of the electron, it is called oxidation. Other is oxide convert into the oxygen, minus 2 charge, and first we will balance the elements on the both side. Here oxide, 1 oxygen, here 2 oxygen. We will write here 2. Now charge on this side is minus 2, 2 times minus 4, and here we have to write the charge. We can write here minus 4 electron, it is oxidation, or we can write oxide ions, 2 oxide ions, it will convert into oxygen plus 2 electron we can write here in the product, and it is oxidation. So this equation we can write this or this, both are same. Question number 6. This is a little bit long question. Redox is the combination of reduction and oxidation reaction. So electrolysis process is called redox reaction because there is oxidation process as well as reduction process at the electrodes. That's why collectively it is called redox reaction. During this reaction, first of all, see this diagram. According to this diagram, if we take the example of sodium chloride, we will take the molten sodium chloride solution. In molten sodium chloride solution, we have this tank. In this tank, we have molten sodium chloride solution, 2 electrodes, cathode and anode. Cathode is connected to the negative terminal of battery and anode to the positive terminal of the battery. At the anode, there is oxidation process. It is also called positive electrode, and cathode is also called negative electrode, and always there is reduction process, and electron they move from anode to cathode. Internal circuit completed due to the movement of the positive and negative ions between these 2 electrodes, and external circuit completed due to the movement of the electron from anode to cathode. Now if we take the example of sodium chloride, first of all, sodium chloride is in molten form. It will convert into, when it is in a solid form, that is in the crystalline form, the positive and negative ions are at their fixed position, so they cannot conduct the electricity. All the ionic compounds should be in molten or aqueous form, then they can conduct the electricity. Sodium chloride, when it is in the molten form, it will convert into the sodium positive and chloride negative ions. These positive ions, they move towards the cathode, and negative ions move towards the anode. At the cathode there is a reduction process, and at the anode there is oxidation process. Because at the reduction there is addition of electron, and at the anode there is removal of electron. So addition of electron is reduction, removal of electron is oxidation, and both the reaction are going on at the same time, oxidation and reduction. That's why it is called redox reaction. Now sodium ions, they move towards the cathode. At the cathode they will gain the electron and convert into the neutral metal sodium, and sodium metal will deposit at the cathode. At the anode, chloride ion move towards the anode, and at the anode they will lose the electron, and loss of electron is called oxidation. It means chloride ions, they will oxidize to chlorine gas at the anode by the loss of the electron. And this equation we can write in two ways. Here minus 2 electron from the reactant, or we will write plus 2 electron in the product. And overall reaction will be like this: sodium chloride convert into the sodium metal, that is solid, and chlorine gas at the anode, sodium metal at the cathode. And sodium metal is solid form, but when the process is going on, it is going on at the high temperature, and solution is in the molten form. Then at this time, during the electrolysis process, the sodium metal is in the liquid form. Normally its physical state is solid, and chlorine will produce at the anode in the gaseous form. Practice questions at page 111. Question number 1. It is about the electrolysis of lead bromide. Now if we see the diagram, according to this diagram, we have molten lead bromide here. There are two electrodes, cathode and anode. Cathode is connected to the negative terminal, and anode to the positive terminal of the battery. And bromine gas released at the anode, and molten lead, it will deposit at the cathode. And the electron, they always move from anode to cathode. Now explain why the molten lead bromide conduct the electricity. All the ionic compounds, when they are present in the solid form, they are in crystalline form, and their positive and negative ions are fixed at their position. They cannot move. When they cannot move, they are fixed at their position. It means they cannot move towards the cathode and anode, and there will be no loss or gain of the electrons. So electrolysis process is not possible. When lead bromide, in this case we have lead bromide molten solution, it means lead and bromide ions, they are free to move. Now because it is in a molten form, lead and bromide, both ions are free to move towards their respective electrodes. Lead ions, they will move towards the cathode, and bromide ions move towards the anode. At the cathode, we see that at the anode there is oxidation process. When bromide ion reach at the anode, they will lose the electron like this. Two bromide ions, they will lose the 2 electron and convert into the bromine gas. And these electrons, they move from anode to cathode. When they reach at the surface of the cathode, here we have lead ions. And these lead ions, they are cations, they have positive charge. They are attracted by the negative electrode, that is cathode. Here they will gain these electrons that are coming from the anode. They will gain the electron and convert it into the neutral metal. And this metal will deposit at the cathode in molten form. So lead bromide can conduct electricity only when it is in the molten form, because in molten form the ions are free to move towards the respective electrode, and then there is oxidation reduction process and electrolysis process is possible. In solid form it's not possible. Explain why the metal in the wire conduct the electricity. Metals have free electrons, and these free electrons are also called delocalized electrons. And all the metals, they can conduct the electricity due to the movement of these free electrons. Question number 3. Explain the formation of brown gas at the anode. According to this diagram, at the anode there is the formation of the bromine gas. And how this bromine gas is produced? When lead bromide is in the molten form here, bromide ions, they will move towards the anode, because anode is positive electrode and bromide ions, they have negative charge. So bromide ion move towards the anode. At the anode they will lose the electron and convert into the bromine gas, and bromine gas, it will release at the anode. So there is the oxidation process, and oxidation process is the loss of the electron. So bromide ions lose the electron and oxidize into the bromine gas, and bromine gas will release at the anode. Normally bromine is a liquid physical state. In nature it exists in the form of the liquid, but according to this diagram it is written that bromine gas. So we will write here Br2 gas, and otherwise it is in the liquid form. Explain the formation of gray droplets at the cathode. At the cathode, we will see again the diagram. Lead ions, they will move towards the cathode. At the cathode, because lead ions are cations, and cations have the positive charge. When they move towards the cathode, that is a negative electrode. At this negative electrode, the lead ions, they will gain the electron, and the same electron that is lost by the bromide ions. This electron move from anode to cathode. At the cathode, it is absorbed by the lead ions, and lead ion they will convert into the neutral lead. And at the cathode there is a reduction process, and lead ions, by the gain of the electron, convert into the lead metal, and it will be in the molten form. According to this figure, it is in the liquid form, but lead is the metal, solid metal. Normally it is present in the solid form. Question number 2 is about the extraction of metal. According to the reactivity series, the upper metal can replace the lower one, but the lower metal cannot replace the upper one. This is the general rule. Now according to this question, when iron oxide is reacted with the carbon, iron oxide will be free and carbon will convert into carbon dioxide. It means carbon, it can replace the iron. Fe2O3 is the iron oxide. When it react with the carbon, carbon will replace the iron. Carbon will replace the iron and convert into carbon dioxide, and iron will free. We will balance this equation 4. Iron oxide is reacted with the carbon. Carbon can replace the iron, and iron will be free and carbon will convert into the carbon dioxide. Or in other way we can say that iron is reduced because there is removal of oxygen, and carbon is oxidized because there is addition of the oxygen with the carbon. So removal of oxygen is reduction and addition of oxygen is oxidation. But if we see the position of carbon and aluminium, aluminium is above the carbon, aluminium is more reactive than carbon, and carbon cannot replace the aluminium from aluminium oxide, and it will not convert into the carbon dioxide. If we see the equation of aluminium oxide and carbon, because carbon is below the aluminium and aluminium is more reactive than carbon, and carbon cannot replace the iron. When it cannot replace the iron, it means aluminium oxide will remain in the form of aluminium oxide in the presence of carbon. That's why aluminium oxide cannot be purified in the presence of carbon. It can be purified by the electrolysis process. For the next question, first of all I will explain this diagram. And this diagram is for the electrolysis of aluminium oxide. It's an electrolytic cell. It has two electrodes. These are positive electrodes, and this one is the negative electrode. This is carbon lining. This one is the steel tank, and it is lined with the carbon, and this carbon is cathode electrode or a negative electrode. And graphite piece here, two graphite pieces, these are called positive electrode or anode. And we will take, in this tank we take the molten solution of aluminium oxide. This is after the electrolysis process, we have molten aluminium metal here that can be removed time by time, and oxygen will release at the anode, and anode are made up of the graphite, and oxygen that release at the anode, it will react with the carbon and convert into the carbon dioxide. That's why these anode electrode that are made of the graphite, graphite is the allotropic form of the carbon, and these graphite anode have to change time by time because they are consumed during the electrolysis process. Part 2 of question number 2. Why is the molten aluminum oxide is dissolved in cryolite? The electrolysis process, we need aluminum oxide in the molten form, and its melting point is 2050. Aluminum oxide needs a lot of heat energy to convert into the molten form. So to reduce the cost of energy, we will use cryolite as the solvent, and in the cryolite is also another aluminium compound. When aluminium oxide is mixed with the cryolite, its melting point will reduce from 2050 to 850. By the addition of the cryolite, electrolysis process can be carried out at 850, because at 850 this mixture will remain in the liquid form. That's why we add the cryolite to the aluminium oxide to reduce the cost of energy. Question number 2, part 3. The positive electrodes need frequent replacement. Why? As we see, this electrolytic cell, it has anode that are made up of the graphite. Graphite is the allotropic form of carbon. At the anode, oxide ion, they will release the electron and get oxidized to oxygen gas. And this oxygen gas, when released at the anode, and anode is made up of the carbon, at the high temperature, this carbon, it will combine with the oxygen and convert into carbon dioxide. It means the electrode, that is anode, it will be consumed during this electrolysis process. So it needs the replacement time by time during the electrolysis process. We can explain this in the equation form. Reaction at the anode, oxide ion, they move towards the anode, and they will release the electron. One oxide ion release 2 electron, and 2 oxide ion release 4 electron, and 2 oxygen combine together to form the O2 molecule of the oxygen gas, and oxygen oxidize into the oxygen gas. And this oxygen gas, when released at the anode is made up of the carbon, and that is in the solid form, and it will react with the oxygen, convert into the carbon dioxide. It means the anode will be consumed during the electrolysis process. That's why it needs replacement during this process. Question number 2, part 4. Write the half equation at the negative electrode. Negative electrode is cathode, and cations move towards the cathode. And aluminium oxide, first I can write the equation like this. Aluminium oxide convert into aluminium positive ions and oxide ions. These positive ions, they move towards the cathode, and oxide ion move towards the anode. Now at the cathode, these aluminium, when they reach at the cathode, they have positive charge, so they gain the electron. 3 positive charge, and they will gain the 3 electrons and convert into the aluminium neutral. And gain of electron is called reduction. At the electrode, negative electrode, there is reduction process. Aluminium ions, they gain the electron and get reduced to aluminium metal at the cathode. Question number 3. Give the test and result for the hydrogen gas. If we have this test tube that has the hydrogen gas, and we bring the splint, that is burning splint, near the mouth of the test tube that contains the hydrogen gas, we will see the pop sound, and this popping sound shows that there is hydrogen gas inside this test tube. So the squeaky pop test is the test for the hydrogen gas. Question 3, part 2. Explain why the electrodes that are made of graphite can conduct the electricity. This can be explained on the base of the structure of graphite. Structure of graphite is like this, that carbon has 4 electrons in the outermost shell. If we see one carbon, it has 2 electrons in the first orbital and 4 electrons in the second orbital, that is the outermost shell. Graphite is present in the form of the layers. Structure of the graphite is like this. Here is carbon, carbon, carbon. Now this carbon, it has 4 electrons, 1, 2, 3, and this is 4th electron. And this carbon has also 4 electrons, 1, 2, 3, and this is 4th one. See this carbon, it has these 4 electrons. This electron is utilized here to make the covalent bond with this carbon. This electron is used here to make the covalent bond with this carbon, and this electron is used here to make the covalent bond with this carbon. This electron is free, and all these carbons, they have one free electron. 3 carbon are utilized to make the covalent bonds with the other carbons, and 1 electron is free. And this electron with each carbon, that is the free electron, it is responsible for the conductance of the electricity. That question number 3, part 3. We have hydrogen and sodium ions in they are both attracted towards the negative electron. Explain why the hydrogen gas form instead of the sodium atom. And this can be explained on the base of the reactivity series, and we will see the position of these ions in the reactivity series. The general rule is metal will be produced at the cathode if it is less reactive than hydrogen, and hydrogen gas will be produced at the cathode if the metal is more reactive than hydrogen. Now in the case of the hydrogen and sodium ions, both will reach at the electrode, that is cathode, and there is competition between these 2 positive ions. According to the reactivity series, hydrogen is less reactive than sodium, and when hydrogen is less reactive, so it will get reduced and produced at the cathode, and sodium ion will remain in this solution. Now the reaction will be like this. Hydrogen ion, they will gain the electron and convert into the hydrogen and release at the cathode, and sodium ions, they will not gain the electron because their reactivity is more and they will remain in the solution. Question number 3, part 4. A few drops of universal indicator were added to the solution. The universal indicator turned blue. Explain why. Universal indicator turn blue in basic medium, and it will turn red in acidic medium. Now according to this question, it turns blue, it means we have basic solution. How this solution is basic? We have sodium chloride and water, and sodium chloride, we have sodium and chloride ions, and water will give the hydrogen and hydroxide ions. Now during the electrolysis process, hydrogen gas released at the cathode and chlorine gas released at the anode. And the remaining solution we have sodium and hydroxide ions. And hydroxide ion, they indicates that there is a basic medium, and sodium hydroxide means it is sodium hydroxide is strong base or alkali. So due to the presence of the sodium hydroxide in the remaining solution, the solution is basic or alkaline. That's why indicator turn blue in this solution. Question number 3, part 5. Complete the half equation for the formation of the chlorine gas. When chloride ion they reach at the anode, we will write here at the anode. At the anode, and they will lose the electron. For example, here one chloride ion will convert into neutral chlorine, release one electron. And chlorine gas is present in the form of the Cl2, so another chloride ion lose the electron, another electron, and convert into chlorine. These two neutral atoms combine together through the covalent bonding to form the chlorine gas. Collectively we can write this whole reaction like there are two chloride ions and convert into the chlorine gas, and two electrons will release, and removal of the electron is oxidation process. So at the anode, chloride ions convert into the chlorine gas, and they lose the electron, and loss of the electron is oxidation process. Question number 3, part 6. Complete the half equation for the formation of the hydrogen gas. Hydrogen ion, they will move towards the cathode. So reaction at the cathode. When positive ions or cations, they move at the cathode. At the cathode, they will gain the electron. And gain of electron is called reduction. Here it will gain the electron. I will write here this reduction like this. Hydrogen, it will gain one electron and convert into hydrogen neutral. Hydrogen is also present in the molecular form, so another hydrogen will gain one electron and convert into the hydrogen, and two neutral hydrogen, they combine together to give hydrogen gas. So here two hydrogen ion, addition of two electrons, and convert into the hydrogen gas. Two hydrogen ion, they will gain two electrons and convert into the hydrogen gas. And addition of the electron is the reduction process. So at the cathode, hydrogen ion gain the electron and get reduced to the hydrogen gas. Now this chapter is finished. If you need any help for another chapter, then write in comment box. I will try to upload the other chapter also.